Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 2v2, that is right, a 2v2 in Semoskiy. Our heroes today are going to be the last of the Mohicans, playing for the Soviets in the blue, and his ally in the yellow is going to be Jove, again, as the yellow Soviet. Their opponents today are going to be PanzerGrenadier1942, playing as the red German, and as the pink or purple trunks, depending your preference, it is NorthWeapon from the north, playing as the Germans from the north. Yeah, there we go. So anyways, let's take a look. Actually, let me close this out over here. I said before I don't really like how it looks. But yeah, let's take a look to see what the players have been doing. So the Germans have gone Tier 1, both of them, as you would normally expect. We do see Doctrine selection for both German players, however. So it is going to be the German Mechanized Doctrine for PanzerGrenadier, and the Mobile Defense Doctrine for NorthWeapon. So that means that we're going to be seeing, I would assume, the Puma, which is one of the new units introduced in those new commanders, and that should also be prominently featured in the expansions to come, so should be exciting to see that. And also, we see that the last of the Mohicans, he has gone Tier 2. His ally is tierless just yet. He goes Tier 2, getting himself a conscript squad and a mortar out on the field. But he also selected his own doctrine, and that is the Lease Tactics, which is the other commander that was added into the game in the Elba update. And it also features a unit for the U.S. Army, which is the Sherman tank. You can see it right here. It costs you 135 fuel and 380 manpower. We shall see it probably displayed in this game. I would not think he selected the Doctrine for anything else, and that should be interesting. The Doctrine itself is, it's kind of cool. It let me put the actual menu here. It gives you the heavy machine gun, allied supply drop, conscript repair, a half-track assault group, which is quite an interesting ability. It gives you a half-track with a guard assault troop with PPSHs and PTRS rifles, so it's kind of cool. We'll see how it works out if we see it actually featured in the game. So anyways, over here on the right-hand side, we see MG42s for the purple player, and opening up on a conscript squad that jumps into the house after capturing that fuel. The second conscript squad is over here on the heavy cover, a nice little position there for the Soviets, as the Germans will have to traverse negative cover and be out in the open as they try to capture the point, while they themselves are sitting comfortably in heavy cover. On the far right-hand side, we see combat engineers running into a barbed wire field that pioneers for North laid down. And on the far left-hand side, up in the north, we see PanzerGrenadier duking it out with his Pios against some combat engineers. And we have mortars on the field for the last of the Mohicans. Two of them, in fact, right now in the center. The yellow player has gone for nothing but conscripts so far. 4 conscripts as of this point. And let's take a look at the German players. We see the purple player, NorthWeapon. Yeah, NorthWeapon. Having 2 Grenadier squads, which we see right here, an MG42 and 2 mortars, one of them already on the field coming right down, and the other one being produced. Conscripts in the house still hold up, managing to, well, pretty much delay the enemies quite significantly. Barbed wire did get cut here by the combat engineers, and the conscripts are jumping the fence to get themselves into a nice heavy cover here behind the enemy troops. Very nice flank positioning there for Jove. That MG42 is in a lot of trouble. It will have to move out of the way. The red player, PanzerGrenadier, has gone for 2 Pios, 2 MG42s, and a mortar. So no combat troops directly. He does take an MG42 into the church, so he'll be able to essentially lock down the center for a little while, although there are 2 mortars for the Soviets, so it's not going to last too long. And his own mortar will help dislodge those Soviet mortars as well, so not a bad decision there. Second MG42 covering the center point. MG42 in the church decides to pop out and gets himself into heavy cover on the left-hand side. Going to be opening up on the conscripts as they head into the house, and the mortar is nearby and could be able to provide some support. On the right-hand side, the conscripts do manage to break into the lines of the Germans. The MG42 stopping one of the conscript squads. Both of them, actually, one of them getting pinned down, the other one suppressed, trying to crawl out of the way. The conscripts throw a Molotov at the mortar squad, forcing it to retreat down to 2 men. The MG42 gets flanked, forced away as well. Second mortar still on the field. Grenadiers getting a little bit flanked. Remember, conscripts are more effective at close range than the Grenadiers, so that is where they excel. and the conscripts are forced to, the grenadiers are forced to retreat, and the mortar decides to pack up as well. So a nice victory on the right-hand side for the yellow player Jove, as he manages to break the German lines quite successfully. Tier 2 gone down for PanzerGrenadier. He is getting himself a scout car. We see no additional tech right now for NorthWeapon, and we see that the yellow player, Jove, has also selected his own Doctrine, and that is the Guard Motor Coordination Tactics. So a little bit more well-known Doctrine there. Nice little combat groups, the heavy mortar, guard rifles and such, so not bad, not bad. Conscripts pushing into the center to support the yellow player. MG42 got stolen here, down to one man, barely makes it out. Molotov lands right on top of the MG42, forcing it away. The conscripts jump into the house to defend the territory, and the conscripts up in the north capture that MG42 and will probably be retreating right now to get themselves reinforced. Pioneer squads with minesweepers come in and just get shot up there by the conscripts and are forced away. Down to one man, barely make it out. Mortar squad, however, is peppering that house, doing a lot of damage. Down to 3 men inside that house. There is 1 mortar, 2 mortars, and there's a 3rd mortar back there, but that's not currently being utilized. Left-hand side, scout car comes into the field and starts opening up on the infantry as they retreat. The MG42 did get stolen, but it gets cleared out by the scout car as it runs at it. Maxim machine gun, unable to stop the scout car, gets itself behind it. Maxim machine guns and actually MG42s have been modified in the recent patch to now actually be a little bit more effective against light vehicles. They actually now have penetration. So while they are not going to one-shot or anything, the vehicles, they will do a lot of damage to them, so they need to be careful. Conscripts opening up on the scout car. The scout car is taking quite a bit of damage, already down to about 30% strength. Pioneer squad jumps into the house with his flamethrower, opening up on the conscript squad. Nice little move there. The conscripts are forced to backpedal a little bit. One of them goes up in flames. Guard rifle on the field. They will be able to take down that scout car. Scout car backing off. PTRS rifles fire. No, they do not. Scout car gets itself out of range. Guards rifle continue to pursue. And there they go. They're fine. Not bad. Not bad at all. MG42 getting picked up once again. Backed up, so that is 2 MG42s and a Maxim machine gun for the last of the Mohicans. Not bad. Mortars, however, are peppering the field constantly. That is 2 German mortars right now in the center with a 3rd one behind. Not really supporting just yet, but it's going to be moving into the zone, so that's going to be a lot of indirect fire to deal with. We do see Tier 1 having gone down for Jove. Gets himself a scout car, and I'm assuming he's probably going to pop in those guard rifles into that scout car and going to try to go hunting for the German scout car, which is the Marcus car as we used to know it, or still know it probably, but yeah, anyways. MG42 popping into the church. The stolen MG42 is just getting pretty battered here by the constant barrage of German mortars. A 120mm mortar would go a long way here to help out. It has a lot of range, could sit on the other side of the river and start bombarding and counter-mortaring these guys, but we'll see. 1 mortar is forced away. The 2nd one moves out of the way. 3rd one is still sitting there. We have a half-track on the field. That is the one that you call in. That has a PanzerGrenadier squad inside. No, actually, sorry. The Grenadier squad inside with an LMG. That is for PanzerGrenadier, so he actually now has a Grenadier squad, finally. MG42 getting surrounded here by the half-track and scout car at the same time. Forced to retreat. It is a 6-man squad, so it should be able to make it out, but essentially a full route from the center for the Soviet forces, as the half-track and scout cars are a little bit too much for them to take. They need a little bit more effective anti-infantry capabilities, anti-tank capabilities. We see the guard rifle squad with the scout car over on the right-hand side, facing off against some light infantry. We see grenadiers for the most part. We have, what is that, an MG42? Yeah, an MG42 also gets dropped in the world. Yellow player could pick that up. Jove, that should be it. Combat Engineer Squad going to be the one utilized to pick that up, it looks like. No, actually, they're just moving past it. Okay. Scout car moves in, gets a couple shots in on that Soviet scout car, but gets shot back in return a little bit by the small arms fire, so needs to back off. Guard squad now focusing down the the German scout car, doing a lot of damage, but the autocannon also returning the favor. A Grenadier squad did get executed on the retreat there. The conscripts are trying to hold the line. A little bit on the flank, we see a conscript squad moving in. Nice 18-8 goes off on the German scout car. The German scout car is down to a sliver of health. Pioneers moving in to try to reinforce and support. We see the Soviet scout car moving in. PTRS rifles fly. They actually hit the half-track instead. Faust going to be going off on the Soviet scout car. Gonna get the kill. There it goes. Guard squad loses a couple of men, down to 3 men itself. But the German scout car actually gets abandoned. The guards unable to kill it, and the Grenadiers are there to stop it. We do see that half-track still in the field. We have an MG42 opening up on the Grenadiers. Nice rifle nade goes down on the guards, forcing them away, and the scout car looks like it's going to live. The Pios are repairing it, get into it, and this the scout car is back in action in about half strength. MG42 is over on the right-hand side trying to stop the stolen MG42. Stolen MG42 is in heavy cover, so it does manage to actually get a suppression off on both of the German MGs. It will be interesting to see if he's actually going to win that. No, it looks like Job decides to call it quits and run away. Not a bad decision, though, considering. Maxim machine guns, MG42s, all those heavy weapons for the last of the Mohicans just pushing forward. He still only has one conscript squad on the field. We see a combat engineer squad with minesweepers up in the north trying to clear out that S minefield, as S minefields are now very, very good, even with their announcement that they have, those signs. They're still very effective. So there you go. Maxim machine gun trying to take the victory point in the center. Victory points 319 for the Soviets, 447 for the Germans. So the Germans sitting comfortably there with over a 100-point lead. However, the Soviets are potentially doing a little bit of a comeback there. Still only tier 2 down for the last of the Mohicans. We see tier 2 as well going down for Job. Interesting choice. Maybe he's going to be getting himself some AT guns, I would suppose. No reason to get machine gun, really, as he already has one that he stole, and mortars. Well, he could call in his own heavy mortar, so I'm assuming it's going to be for the AT guns that he's building them. Going to go with AT guns from tier 2 and then just call in the T-34-85 groups? Yeah, probably. Down in the south, we see a massive push here by German troops. Going to be taking that fuel point outside the base. We do see the MG42 that got stolen set up to defend the point quite effectively, though. Grenadier squad moves in to capture the point. The MG42, however, is unaware of such things going on right in front of them. They are unable to see. You can see the fog of war there, right at the edge. So, unfortunate. MG42 realizes the point is being taken. Moves up and opens up on the Grenz. The Grenz do manage to decap the point. Combat engineers move in to support. Nice rifle nade landing on the stolen MG42. Getting a kill. Second squad moves in to get a little bit of a flank. Another rifle nade goes off, killing one more man. Mortar shots fly, and that actually allows the squad to stay alive because the weapon itself got transferred to the last remaining man, and he ran rather than having to go pick it up. So that is quite lucky there for Job. Behind us, I guess you could say the lines, we see a conscript squad going for the fuel. Not the fuel. This is not the fuel in the summer version. It's the one down south. But he is capturing that point, strategic point. Up in the north, fuel getting capped by Job. Scout car moves in to try to stop them. Does get a decap. They'll probably run away, not being able to cap. Guard rifle moves up, getting some shots in on the mortars and MG42s. Grenadiers move in to support. We have a lot of mortars on the field. Do we actually? Yeah, we have 2 mortars on the field. And the MG42 and combat engineer move back over to the left-hand side as we see a bunker getting laid down here by NorthWeapon, trying to lock down this sector. Incendiary rounds flying from the stolen, not stolen, this is a normal MG42, sorry. Grenadiers pushing forward, gonna get rifle nades off on that other MG42 as the mortars continue to shoot from a distance. Need a little bit more support here from more troops. Combat engineer squad is forced to retreat. The MG42 is just opening up. The conscripts are going to move in for a little bit of a flank. Not a bad decision. This is a nice little maneuver there by Jove. The bunker unable to stop him in this angle, and he'll be able to get a nice flank on everything. Conscripts Ura forward. The MG42 still trying to hold the line by itself. Manages to do so. Conscripts get right on top of everything. We have another bunker here trying to stop the line. Conscripts get right on top of everything. MG42 is forced to pack up. Nice Molotov right on top of that Grand Squad. Second Molotov landing on top of the other Grand Squad and where the MG42 was. Forces a retreat on both of them. The bunker did not get activated in time. This one is up in order, but not going to be able to do that. And the MG42 is forced to retreat. Mortar as well. Conscripts coming in from the rear, getting a little bit of a flank there. A nice little flank on that mortar. And there they go. So the flank falls. Guards rifles are being moved up here to support, but the AT guns are actually the ones that managed to kill everything, and the guards are going to try to finish off that bunker. So nice little breaking of that flank. We see a Puma on the field for NorthWeapon. Nice to see that a unit. It is more effective against vehicles, at least from what I saw the last time, but it still has capabilities against infantry, much like any other tank. And yeah, mortar squad going to get cleared out as the scout car moves into support. And we see the MG42 opening up on the Puma, getting some damage on the side armor, however, not being able to finish it off. If it had activated the incendiary rounds, however, it would have been able to do so. And the center falls to everything. Ooh, nice little maneuver there by PanzerGrenadier, getting a Pioneer squad with flamethrowers inside his half-track. And that's going to allow him to go with those massive damage flamethrowers. AT gun set up in the bridge. Gets some nice shot off on the half-track. Down goes the half-track. The Puma circles around, ridiculously too maneuverable there, and gets itself out of there. We see the half-track now getting called in onto the field for the last of the Mohicans. He will be able to reinforce with that one. Actually, can he? That's called M5 half-track transport. Is it actually different? Because he says the M5 half-track is a Lend-Lease provision to the Soviet Union. The open top, the M5 spacious enough to carry 2 squads. This is the common machine gun provides good firepower, transports infantry, transporting troops can fire out of the M5. Light armor is easily penetrated. So it looks like this will actually doesn't. Yeah, that's weird. So yeah, it looks like that one doesn't actually reinforce, which is sad. I'll keep an eye on that, but I would have expected that it did, but oh well. Conscripts in the center, getting mauled there. Guard rifles move up. These guard rifles have PTRS rifles and PPS Sages. I wonder how good they are at actual combat, but sad part about the half-track is that it's not able to really do much. Let's take a look at this squad. Guard rifle infantry, equipped with PPSH submachine guns and grenades, effective at long range, at medium long range, effective against infantry. So let's take a look at these guys. So they have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have 4 PPSH rifles and 2 SVTs. So these guard rifles don't actually have PTRS rifles? This one actually says it does. SVT. Wait, did I actually look at it wrong? Hold on. Or is it a typo? Yeah, it's a typo over here. You can see right there. M5 half-track assault group with PPSH submachine guns and PTRS anti-tank rifles. And they don't. You can see here that they actually have, in the actual commander, it says PPSH machine guns and SVT rifles. So, yeah, a little bit of a error there. I did think it was a little bit too strong. So these are guard rifles that are a little bit more combat-oriented. Kind of like the shock troop variant, I suppose. Allied supply drop. Where is it dropping? I don't actually know, but we'll see. And we see a combat group getting called in for Jove. So nice. The Soviets are starting to push back. 292 points for the Soviets, 376 for the Germans. So the point has gone to less than 100. We do see 3 Pumas on the field for NorthWeapon. So it looks like Puma, I guess you could say Puma spam. I mean, using multiple Pumas is very, I should stop doing that, sorry. Is very popular. Shouldn't say common, but quite popular. Ooh, nice artillery gun right there for PanzerGrenadier. Gets a kill off on one of the AT guns. The other AT guns in the mortar not moving. Nice shot there on the church. Collapses it completely, killing a squad inside. That squad had what? A Maxim machine gun. Massive amounts of damage. Puma's pushing into the center. Guard rifle trying to stop them, but, well, they don't have PTRS rifles. There is a PTRS rifle squad nearby. AT guns, T-3485s on the flank. Getting some nice shots off on that Puma. That Puma might go down, getting focused down. There it goes. T-3485s pushing forwards. The Puma doing a lot of... Actually, no, they're taking a lot of damage. They're not even inflicting a lot of damage. There it goes. T-3485 now gets a nice barrage on it and suffers damage, but the Puma might actually go down, and there it goes. Nice kill there for the Soviet forces. The scout car still on the field, and we'll be able to push forward. We still have not seen the Sherman. Hopefully we'll see it a little bit away from those points. We do see a Panther coming onto the field for PanzerGrenadier as he goes for Tier 4, skipping Tier 3 altogether, and we have only Tier 1 for NorthWeapon as he continues to just utilize Pumas, it looks like, but that didn't work out too well for him, not with T-3485s on the field anymore. T-3485s pushing forward. We have that, artillery gun there nearby. We see the Panther doing a lot of damage to the C-3485. The Panthers are now supposed to be more designed against anti-vehicle. They have more penetration, and the reworking on it should actually accommodate for that. So one of the T-3485s goes down. The Panther does take a lot of damage as currently marked. It goes for the second T-3485, but that is exposing itself to a lot of damage. However, it bounces off the frontal armor. Nice deflection there. Second shot goes in, gets a penetration on the frontal armor. Shot goes off from the T-3485, gets a penetration on the side armor there of the Panther, and the Panther backs off as it notices, wait, I'm still marked, so I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. I may die here. Artillery rounds flying, trying to nail that T-3485, collapses the house, misses. Another, ooh, the Sherman is on the field for the last of the Mohicans. Nice little Sherman to see here. He gets itself the 50 cal Browning machine gun on the top and goes straight up against that command tank. I wonder how effective this tank actually is. It does look, however, quite badass. It's taking a lot of damage though, as the Panther is behind it, just outclassing it. I mean, it's still a Sherman. It's not a heavy tank or anything. It's a medium tank, so there goes back, and it looks nice. It's nice to see the Sherman in the Company Heroes 2 engine, isn't it? Heavy cab here. Yeah, I wonder if that's what he said. I didn't hear him. Clicking on it, but he's not actually saying heavy cab here. Another Sherman on the field for the last of the Mohicans, as he only needs, what, 135 fuel to call them in, so he had quite a bit since he wasn't using it. So, nice little combination there. T-3485 also nearby. And it says here, the M4C Sherman medium tank is armed with a versatile 76mm main gun, effective against light and medium armor. The Western Allied powers sent a number of these vehicles to the Soviet Union as part of a Lease program. Nice. Oh. So the German forces are essentially pushed back into their base. They have a little bit of territory spread out, but we see a mortar being utilized to cap. The fuel point is the only thing capped right now. We have the munitions and victory point over here, defended by a MG42. But we have the Allies just moving around. We also see a Allied supply drop. Where did it get sent? The Allied supply drop is fuel. So convert munitions to fuel, essentially. So that's gonna let yellow player get fuel. Fuel supplies, yeah. Similar to what the airborne used to have, but this is just fuel, not fuel and munitions, and it doesn't drop heavy weapons. Wonder who's gonna be picking it up. Anyways, right hand side, we see the command tank pushing forward. We have a guard squad in there, opening up on the armor, doing a little bit of damage. We also see a, what is that? Is that a, no, that's just a buttoning going down by the squad. Excuse me. And the command tank just pushes forward, opening up with its gun. More infantry flooding into the right-hand side of the field. The Soviets have pulled back a little bit, getting their stuff repaired. So it's a 76mm gun, so it's not as strong as the T-3485, but it's essentially the same as T-3476, right? So I'm assuming it's probably around the same values of damage as a standard T-34 would be. I'm assuming. I may be wrong. Obviously, if you guys know the actual values, let me know. But so Germans pushing forward, T-3485 trying to stop them. It's not going to be too effective at it, but, you know, they need to be worried a little bit. Panther moving back out. Still only one Panther on the field. We also see another Puma coming onto the field for NorthWeapon, so he's going to be relying on those as he does not have any tech, and he is far behind in fuel, it looks like. Although, let's see. No, yeah, that's NorthWeapon. NorthWeapon is far behind in fuel, so he's not going to be able to do that. More artillery guns getting called into the field, just opening up. Shots continue to fly. And where are they going to land? Oh, lands directly on an MG42. Almost clearing it out completely. Oh, that was a nice shot there. Actually kills the AT gun, and the guards that were manning it just run away. So those artillery guns are actually going to be quite annoying. Shermans coming in for a nice flank there on the Panther. The Panther getting shot on the side armor. T-3045 moving forward. Going to get some nice damage in on that Panther. The Panther might actually go down here. The Shermans are a little bit distracted here with the infantry in front of them. The lead Sherman is just getting obliterated here by the Panther. Manages to dodge that shot. Gets itself fausted, however, by those Grents, it looks like. And is going to be going down. Oh, actually misses. T-3045 and the Sherman continue to push forward. The Panther is in a lot of trouble. We do have, however, that Puma manages to take out that Sherman. Shermans continue to chase. The Panther getting some damage in on that T-3045. It actually hits it on the rear armor as it flies behind it. T-3045 doing some damage to it. The Panther is down to a sliver of health. The Sherman gets hit on the rear armor here by the Puma. The Puma distracting the Sherman, getting it to turn around and face it. The Sherman now facing its rear frontal armor to the Puma. Gets crew shocked. T-3485 going to get a shot. Misses. The Panther misses as well. Panther trying to get itself away. Blitzkrieg. Shot goes off, and oh my god, the T-3485 ends up going down. Was that a mine? No, I think that was just a normal shot. And the Puma ends up taking down the Sherman. So wow, those Pumas are ridiculously good. Conscripts push forward. The Puma going to focus down the Sherman, and the Sherman goes down. And we see another Sherman getting called in here by last of the Mohicans. Trying to go for the kill on the Panther, but the Panther got itself out of there. Looking back on the wreckage over here, it looks like it might have actually hit a mine. Yeah, because it was a little bit too high in health for it to have just died by a hit from the Panther. It's possible though, but no. I'm pretty sure it was a teller mine there. Smoke getting called in. The Panther pulling back as it now sees two T-3045s barreling down on top of it. The Sherman backing off as it wants to remain alive. And the Puma ended up over here. Now has a destroyed weapon. The Panther is the only thing here standing. We have Pioneers all over the place. The Pioneers are not going to be able to stop the T-34s. The T-34 is now focusing down that Panther. We see something shooting it from the side. That is the command tank on the T-3045. The Puma goes down. T-3045 is getting shot by the Panther. The Panther getting hit on the rear armor. Main gun destroyed on the Panther. This T-3045 is getting a little bit damaged here by the command tank. Command tank now getting focused by T-3045s. The T-3045s take it down, and now they've refocused their sights on the Panther. The Panther goes down. Rear armor hit here on the T-3045 as another Panther hits the field. The Panther is now in a very superior position. We see more supply drops getting called in by the last of the Mohicans. But his Sherman is nowhere to be seen to support the fight. And actually, yeah, they can reinforce. That's nice. I was a little bit worried about that, but no, there it goes. T-3045 gets taken out there by the Panther. The Panther stays alive at about 75% strength. And we also see a half-track getting called in for PanzerGrenadier. NorthWeapon did actually end up losing quite a bit. He is down to only 2 Grants and 2 MG42s, essentially. He does have them out on the field, however, so he's being quite active with them. And the last of the Mohicans does have the remaining allied, I guess you could say, because this is Sherman. Grants coming in for a flank. Sherman gets a shot, misses, but the artillery actually lands near itself and does more damage there than good. AT gun almost gets in to clear it out, but the Sherman comes in to finish it out. And is now going to chase down the Grenadier. Can he actually finish him off? We'll see how effective the Sherman tank is against infantry. Doesn't seem to be too effective. Oh, there he goes. Grenadiers pushing on the Sherman, trying to get a Faust off, but they do not manage to get in range. Combat engineers and conscripts still nearby. Maxim machine gun opening up and getting some Grants pinned down. Victory points are 292 for the Soviets, 213 for the Germans. The Soviets have managed to eke out a lead. We see another Puma getting called in from NorthWeapon. It is very effective with its weapon, however, it's still, you know, a light vehicle, essentially. It's not even a tank. So it cannot really take too much punishment. We see a fuel cache getting built over here for Job, as the MG42 just sits there and caps. More fuel caches getting laid down all over the place. This one is already a fuel point. And yeah, guard rifle on the center. The guard squad with the PPSA just died a long time ago, apparently. Puma and Panther trying to stop the infantry as they approach, but not able to do much. We see more supplies getting called in. We also see an AT gun and maxi machine gun getting produced for the last of the Mohicans. We see another Sherman getting called in. That is a nice looking tank. I don't know. There's just something so classic about it. Makes it look so cool. Anyways, stop fawning over that. Mortaring, Germaning. And combat engineers. Can this one not actually get the quad upgrade? It can actually. Doesn't look like Less of the Mohicans is too fond of doing that. He's utilizing it to get fuel instead, you know, his munitions. But yeah, it would be nice. Sherman backing off as the Panther pushes forward. I mean, it's still a Sherman. It's not able to deal with a Panther. Heavy machine gun on top. 50 cal, in fact. Getting researched, and the piles are forced away. We have maxi machine guns, and up in the north, Grand Squad just capturing. Center point, Gren's running into a Sherman. The Sherman exposing his rear armor to the enemy, which is not ideal. Nice artillery shots right into the clump of infantry. Oh, doing a lot of damage. Oh, that's mortar, but still more damage. And the infantry is trying to spread out, but they're still just sitting in there, sitting in that pocket. That's not quite smart, I should say. There are still 2 artillery guns in the field for PanzerGrenadier, so it's going to be quite difficult. He shifts to the position, however, and is going to reinforce with the half-track. The half-track going to get repaired on the fly as well. And AT guns coming onto the field. Maxi machine gun as well. Still have those Shermans up north getting bombarded there by mortars. Panther moves in, gets some shots in on the Shermans. The Shermans return fire, and the Puma is nearby. The Puma is now getting focused by the Shermans. The Shermans trying to get in range to hit it. Buttoning goes down on the Puma. The Puma breaks line of sight as the guards pop into, as it gets out of range from the guards, and it manages to stay alive. Rear armor hit on that Panther. The Panther is currently buttoned. Conscripts push forward, gonna get some AT nades going off on both the Puma and the, no, they get the Puma, but it doesn't look like they got the Panther. Mortar getting dropped on the world. And the Shermans are still alive and could actually push forward. The guard rifles are nearby. They're getting some damage in on that Puma. That Puma taking a lot of damage. Conscripts push forward. Second Puma moves in to intercept and get in the way. Manages to actually do so. And the Shermans are not being utilized in the fight. They're back there getting repaired. So they're not going to be able to come in and finish the fight. Job does have enough to get himself another combat group as far as fuel goes, but he needs more manpower. Pretty sure that's what he's waiting for. Oh. Those artillery guns are being quite effective. Conscripts moving over to the right-hand side flank. They're going to get behind that MG42, which is going to be annoying. This MG42 is not nearby for support. The MG42 losing men left and right. It's going to be going down. I don't think it's actually going to even make it out of there. Conscripts pushing in the front. MG42 retreating as it has to retreat through negative cover. Conscripts just shoot it up, and it should be going down. No. Is it going to make it out? Yeah, it does make it out, actually. MG42 sets itself up for another approach and catches that conscript squad before it gets behind it. Grenadiers move into support. Another Sherman getting called into the field for the last of the Mohicans. Grand's pushing into the center. We see another command tank, actually a command tank called in for PanzerGrenadier, as PanzerGrenadier had not actually called in a command tank himself. But there he goes. Panther pushes out into the front, getting some shots off on those conscripts. MG42 is forced to retreat, as conscripts did take quite a beating, but they're going to be able to capture the point. We see more squads getting called in. MG42 is getting built for PanzerGrenadier. What is coming down the field right now? That's an MG42 as well. Center point, Puma moving in for a little bit of a flank. The half-track is in the way. Sherman's getting some shots off on the Puma. The Puma going to run away and pop a smoke to stay alive. Artillery rounds flying into the center. Soviet forces are forced to displace once again and shift position. We still have that Sherman down south, which is fully repaired. This one over here still needs some repairs, and these combat engineers could help out, and it looks like they will. Nice little communication there. And we see Command Tank, Panther, and a lot of troops moving into the right-hand side for the Germans. We see the combat group once again getting called in for Jove, as he will be able to support now. And with 3 Shermans and 2 T-34-85s, that should be able to crush this very easily. Although we do have 3 Pumas on the field for NorthWeapon once again, so that is actually quite difficult to deal with. They're not currently together, however, so the Sherman manages to catch one out of position and kill it. Second Puma moves in to try to get some damage in and maybe potentially kill the Sherman. Gets a rear armor hit. However, with the other Sherman nearby, it just needs to turn itself around and it will be able to get a kill on that Puma. The Puma is chasing down the Sherman, doing a lot of damage. Gets a rear armor hit. The Sherman manages to juke it and get itself behind. However, the Puma shoots at it, doing a lot of damage. It just does so much damage and gets the kill. T-34-85 is moving in that direction. Gonna try to get the kill on that Puma. The Puma manages to dodge the first shot. T-34-85 is right in front of it now. And the Puma will be going down. There it goes. Another Puma moving in that direction. That's just a sacrificial Puma, essentially. We still have that Panther in the center with the command tank for support. The Sherman has died. A Sherman has died. The half-track is just getting shot up. Second Sherman taking a lot of damage. Moving back, gonna get killed here by either the Puma or the command tank. Panther gets the shot, kills it off. The half-track goes down, and the Sherman is the only thing left alive. The Puma over here getting a lot of damage down on one of the T-34-85s. Gets itself away. The T-34-85 is not able to catch up to it. And the command tank is currently damaged in the center. Combat engineers moving in that direction. We have light machine guns dropped all over the world. They could get picked up by anybody. And yeah. Nice little push there by the German forces. They managed to break into the center. Victory points are down to 92 for the German forces, but they managed to stop the bleed. 292 for the Soviets, so they have a 200-point lead exactly. But we'll see if the Germans are able to swing this around. T-34-85 pushing into the center. Sherman nearby, but not able to support. Panther gets a shot off on the T-34-85. Another Sherman getting called in. That is the unfortunate thing about the Shermans. They're not really that great. I mean, it's nice to have them, but they're not, super tanks. Even the T-34-85s seem to, be more capable than them because they're able to take more punishment and deal more damage. So, as nice as the Shermans are, they're not, that great. Artillery firing into the center. Shots flying over here. Sherman's pushing forward. T-34-85 nearby. The command tank is now fully repaired. The Panther is right in front of it. The Sherman really unable to do much. It gets an engine damage with a shot from the Panther, and the Panther just backs off. More artillery shots flying, trying to nail the mortar and the T-34-85 that is hiding. The other T-34-85 is up in the north getting repaired, it looks like. It's fully repaired now, so it's moving back in. Command tank and Panther moving in together. They are not able to provide the defensive bonus as they are in enemy territory. The mortar, she's getting shot up there by the command tank. It needs to get itself out of there, but it will die. There it goes, it dies. The mortar is just going to run away, and there it goes. Oh, it actually dies. Weakling. More Pumas getting called into the field for NorthWeapon. They are just flooding Pumas back and forth, which is... he's losing a lot, but it's being surprisingly effective. T-34-85 is now leading the charge, getting some damage in on those German tanks. However, that Panther is now Veteran C2. At Veteran C2, the Panther gets, well, it says it gets armored skirts, but it doesn't. I mean, maybe those are the ones that it gets, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But, essentially, it gets more armor, more health, maybe. I can actually double check that with my information, but we'll get to that. T-34-85 moving up to the north. There's a Puma nearby, so it needs to be a little bit careful. Maxim machine gun pushes forward. Germans are starting to put the bleed on the Soviets once again. They are holding the center with that little combo there of command tank and Panther. Artillery guns are just wrecking the Soviet forces. I mean, this artillery gun is already better T3 with 43 kills, having killed 1 building, 1 vehicle, and 43 infantry. And the second artillery gun is Veteran C2 with also 49 kills. I mean, actually 49 kills, which is more than that. I guess just less, Less valuable target. Jove says something. I don't know what it means, so sorry about that. And let's see, they get shell accuracy and rate of fire and improves max range. So yeah, 49. That is 48 infantry, 1 vehicle, and 3 friendlies. That's nice. So the German forces getting a little bit of a respite here. They managed to just consolidate their forces in the center, getting a lot of MGs and mortars. Could, you know, deal with splitting these MGs a little bit, covering different angles, but it's fine. We see more supply drops getting called in for the last of the Mohicans. Building another conscript squad as he loses all the infantry. He still has 2 AT guns on the field and 2 Shermans. The combat engineers of Jove being the ones repairing. So the combat group essentially is still alive, full strength. We have a combat group of Shermans. And with fuel being dropped, a lot of fuel actually. Not sure who's going to be picking it up, but that's a lot of fuel that could get picked up. On the right-hand side, we see the infantry for Jove getting sent in. He still has a lot of infantry. He's got 2 guard squads, 2 conscripts, and all of those are veteran C3. Actually, 1 conscript squad is veteran C2. But yeah, and he also has a stolen MG that is veteran C2, 2 combat engineers that are being repaired, and the combat group of the T-3045. So yeah, I mean, Jove is actually in a very good position. The person that suffered here is actually the last of the Mohicans. So the last of the Mohicans decides that, you know what, my Shermans are just not cutting it, so he goes for tier 4, gets himself more fuel. Which is 10 fuel essentially every time you pick that up. And yeah, he's getting himself an Su-85 to be able to combat both at range and with superior firepower the Panther and the command tank. Those Shermans are just not going to cut it. Massive combat group here of Pumas catching the combat engineers out of position here for Job, doing a lot of damage as they retreat, but Pumas are not designed against infantry. They're anti-vehicle. Their weapon and anti-vehicle. They would need to have like an autocannon, which is what the original Vico had. You know, it started off with an autocannon, and you could upgrade it with that that cannon to be able to deal against armor. T-3045 over here on the right-hand side ends up getting abandoned. The Panther's just getting body blocked here by the T-3045s. The Sherman's being able to do a lot of damage to it, take it out completely, and there it goes. We have an MG-42 in the house getting cleared out, and Puma's moving in that direction to try to clear out the Soviet armor. However, well, with 3 guns facing them, those guys go down very quickly. Another combat group gets called in for Job, managing to get a flank on those Pumas, getting a lot of damage in. We have another Panther here, and okay, my mistake, it did actually get those armored skirts. I thought it was like the Panzer IV, but you could see it actually had some skirts here on the side, so yeah, there goes. Can we actually see that? Whoa, that's a lot of tanks right in front of it. That Panther is trying to stop a fucking tsunami there. Or I don't know how to call it, but that is a lot of tanks barreling down on top of it. The Sherman taking the brunt of the damage. Going to be lost here. The T-3045 and the other Sherman moving in. Second T-3045 moving in to get more damage in. The Panther getting repaired on the fly by 2 Pio squads. They're doing a lot of damage. I mean, they're doing a lot of repairs here. Oh, nice artillery shot there by the PanzerGrenadier artillery guns. Gets a lot of damage there on that T-3045. T-3045, however, does stay alive and managed to get in the kill on that Panther. And the command tank goes down as well as the Sherman stays alive. And, well, you know, the other one is lost. Artillery gun now getting cleared out by the Shermans. We do have a Puma on the field. Puma managed to get a nice shot there on that T-3045. T-3045 goes down. The Sherman is exposing its rear armor to the Puma. Not what it wants to do. It needs to turn itself around. It's chasing down the Puma, however. The Puma unable to take it on a one-on-one here. There it goes down. The Sherman now right on top of the base. We do have Grents here with Faust capability, but they're not going to be able to clear it out. Going to be able to take down that, and we do have another Sherman on the field. A little bit further back. No, that's the Su-85. Never mind. Artillery gun goes down, and the Germans have lost their foothold on the battlefield. Those 2 artillery guns were keeping them alive. A lot of damage going in. The Sherman pushing back. The Su-85 pushing back as well. Doesn't want to lose itself. And we do have the T-3045 down south. They got abandoned. They could get picked up, and we still have another one at about half strength on the field for Job. So we'll see if he does that. He is sending some infantry over in that direction, so more likely he will be able to do so. That was a nice little push there for the Soviet forces. They did end up losing a lot, but in the end they ended up winning the engagement. The Su-85 was, I believe, a critical point there, managing to get one vehicle destroyed and more damage in there, so pretty sure he actually contributed, but may have not. There were still a lot of tanks got lost, but a lot of damage got inflicted. We see another Sherman getting called in. Nice little combination there. I mean, 2 Shermans and an Su-85, that is pretty solid. Able to deal with multiple threats, keeping the Su-85 defended and such, so not bad. I like that. Combat Engineers for Jove moving in to repair his allies' things. Conscripts over here capturing the point. They realize that there is a abandoned T-3485 there, but they're not actually capturing it. The Grenadiers might be able to take it out. Oh, a nice rifle nade there by the Grens. Actually take out the conscript squad almost completely. They managed to stay alive with 1 man. The guards are debating whether they want to take the tank or destroy it. They decide to jump into the house to be able to shoot at the Grens with a little bit more impunity. T-34s, Shermans, stopping MG42 as it pushes forward. Germans down to 63 points. The Allies still at 226. They're going to be able to stay there for quite a while. And yeah, 4, 5, 6, okay, yeah, still have time. T-3045 moves over to the right-hand side. The T-3045 over here is damaged, and it has a destroyed engine, utilizing its ability there to to repair by itself. T-3045 gets across the river, pushes away the Pios. We still have an MG42 over here, not able to do much. S-Minefield getting laid down and detonated on top of its own Pios, which is quite sad for them. And, oh, more artillery guns on the field. Getting called back in, shots fly, getting some nice damage in there on those combat engineers, but they get away. AT gun's still alive, but barely. And the T-3045 over here just continues to use munitions to get reinforced. Not reinforced, repaired. And it'll be back in full strength in a little while. Sherman's in the center, covering that Su-85. There's not much else for the tanks to do now, aside from killing infantry. Yeah, that's about it. The Germans don't currently have any troops as far as vehicles go. But they do call in a command tank. That is NorthWeapon, so we'll see if that actually helps out. Smoke bombs getting called into the center as the Pios rush in for a desperate move to try to get the victory point. Sherman moves in, going to try and crush. What is the veterancy for the Shermans? So, main gun targeting and rate of fire, and navigate the battlefield with these, as well as main gun and greater fires with greater frequency. Okay, so similar to the other veterancies, nothing too special. Pios getting cleared out. They did manage to decap the center point, so the bleed has stopped for a little while. Command tank pushes up. She's getting shot at by T-3485s and Shermans. Gets annihilated. No more vehicles. We see that PanzerGrenadier doesn't have anything left. He has an artillery gun. He has a Pios squad. I mean, an MG42 over here. And a Pios squad somewhere around here. There it is. Artillery gun fires into the center. Gonna try to clear out those conscripts as they capture the point. Conscripts managing to dodge that first shot. Shermans move in to try to absorb the damage, looks like. Conscripts are also capable of repair, so last of the Mohicans could actually repair with those, but repairing while under fire from artillery, not the best choice, so can't blame them for not doing it right there. And the T-3045 down south did actually end up getting repaired, and it's now back to full strength. Should be this one, yeah, there it goes. Right-hand side, conscripts moving in. We do still have that MG42 covering the other approach. They run into an S minefield, and they're going to take some damage here. A lot of damage, in fact. Conscripts down to 3 men. Continue to run. Down to 1 man. Needs to get out of there. Conscripts Ura forward, getting in front of the MG42. One of the men gets caught in the arc of fire. Molotov lands, forcing the MG42 to pack up and move out of the way. Loses one of its men to the Molotov, but they stay alive. Conscripts now in heavy cover. They'll be able to do a lot of damage. The MG42 pops into the... No, it actually doesn't pop into the shed. It just backs off. The conscripts should be able to outgun it there since they are in heavy cover. Victory is in their grasp. Germans are down to 25 points. I don't see them coming back from this as they do not have any forces left. MG42 pushing forward. We have 2 Grand Squads on the field for NorthWeapon, and that's about it. They're currently back at base. We see another artillery gun getting produced for PanzerGrenadier. And while the 2 artillery guns work great early on, they are great when they can, you know, support your troops. But right now he has no way of stopping the Can't even send in anything behind the lines to try to cap this point. We see T-3045s moving in for the flank into the enemy base. This should be able to seal the deal and just finish the game. The artillery guns are going to be going down. T-3045s focusing down the artillery guns. Down to 13 points. Conscripts over here did manage to force away the MG-42. Sherman's pushing forward, getting a little bit shot up there by stuff, the artillery guns, but one of them goes down. The Sherman gets actually decrewed by the artillery guns. And down to 2 points, one more tick, and that should be game. So very nice. It is nice to see those new units. I'm a little bit excited here about the Western Front's update and seeing how the new armies play into Company of Heroes 2. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.